David Martinez had seen many strange things during his 3 years aboard the Endeavour, humanity's first deep space research vessel, crystalline beings that communicated through light patterns, gas giants with floating cities, even sentient plants that could solve complex mathematical equations. But nothing had prepared him for the sight of 4 emaciated children standing outside the observation deck, their brilliant blue eyes reflecting the starlight streaming through the massive viewport. "Can we have your leftovers?" the eldest asked, a girl who couldn't have been more than 12. Her voice carried the universal tone of desperation that transcended species barriers. David looked down at his half-finished meal tray, synthesized protein bars, reconstituted vegetables, and what the ship's computer optimistically labeled chicken flavoring. It was barely palatable by human standards, yet these children stared at it as if it were a feast. "Of course," David said, sliding the tray toward them. "Take it all." Mino Chen, the ship's xenobiologist, approached from behind him. She'd been cataloging specimens in the adjacent lab when she heard voices. Her dark eyes widened as she took in the scene, 4 children devouring human rations with an intensity that spoke of prolonged hunger. "David," she whispered, "scan them." He discreetly activated his handheld scanner. The results made his blood run cold. These weren't just any aliens. The genetic markers were unmistakable. They were Zephyrian, one of the most advanced species in the known galaxy. The same species that had initially refused first contact with humanity, dismissing them as primitive carbon-based life forms of minimal intelligence. "How did you get aboard our ship?" Mino asked gently, kneeling to their level. The eldest child, a girl with intricate blue markings along her temples, looked up from the food. "The transport tubes in Section 7. We've been hiding for 6 cycles. Our colony ship." She paused, her blue eyes darkening. "It's gone." David and Mino exchanged glances. The Endeavour had indeed detected debris from a massive vessel 3 days ago, but long-range scans had shown no life signs. These children had somehow survived. "What happened?" David asked. "Pirates," the girl replied simply. "They took everything. Food, water, fuel. Left us to drift." She gestured to her companions, 3 younger children who continued eating with single-minded focus. "We're all that's left of 300. Mino felt something twist in her chest. The Zephyrians were known throughout the galaxy for their technological superiority, their vast cities, their seemingly limitless resources. To see their children reduced to begging for scraps from the primitive humans was a stark reversal of cosmic fortune. "What are your names?" Mino asked. "I am Kira," the eldest replied. "These are my siblings, Ven, Naya, and little Jex." She paused, studying David's face with those piercing blue eyes. "You're humans, aren't you? We learned about your species in school. They said you were basic." David couldn't help but smile. "Basic, huh? Well, let's see how basic we are." He activated his communicator. "Bridge, this is Martinez. We have 4 Zephyrian children in need of immediate assistance. I'm requesting emergency provisions and medical attention." Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled through the comm. "Zephyrian children? David, are you certain? Long-range sensors show—" "I'm certain, Captain. They're hungry, scared, and alone. They need our help." There was a pause. "Understood. Dr. Patel is on her way. I'll have the kitchen prepare proper meals." Within minutes, the observation deck was bustling with activity. Dr. Patel began gentle medical examinations while the ship's cook, a burly man named Stevens, arrived with steaming plates of actual food. Not rations, but real vegetables grown in the ship's hydroponic gardens, fresh bread, and even some chocolate cake he'd been saving for the next celebration. Kira stared at the feast in disbelief. "This is for us?" "All of it," Stevens said gruffly, his eyes soft. "And there's plenty more where that came from." As the children ate, more slowly now, savoring each bite, Mino noticed something remarkable happening. Other crew members began arriving. Lieutenant Williams brought blankets. Engineer Thompson offered toys from his personal collection. Even the normally stern Commander Shah appeared with handheld games and data tablets loaded with educational programs. "I don't understand," Kira said between bites of cake. "Our teachers said humans were selfish, that you fought among yourselves constantly, that you couldn't even manage your own planet properly." David sat down beside her. "We do fight sometimes, and we've made mistakes with our planet. But when someone's hungry..." He gestured around the room where his crewmates were arranging temporary bedding and discussing long-term accommodations. "Well, this is what we do." Mino pulled up her holographic display, showing star charts and colony locations. "We're going to find you a new home," she told Kira. "There are several Zephyrian worlds within range. We'll make sure you get there safely." "But why?" Kira asked, genuine confusion in her voice. "We're not even the same species. Our people called you primitive. Why would you help us?" David looked around at his crewmates, humans who had dropped everything to aid 4 alien children they'd never met before. "Because you asked," he said simply, "and because you were hungry." Later that evening, as the children slept peacefully in the newly arranged quarters, Captain Rodriguez found David and Mino in the observation lounge. "Communications just received. A priority message from the Zephyrian High Council," she said. "They're offering a substantial reward for the return of those children. Apparently, Kira is the daughter of one of their most prominent scientists." "We're not doing this for a reward," David said. "I know." Rodriguez smiled. "I already told them that. But I did accept their offer to share some advanced technology, particularly their food synthesis systems." She paused, looking out at the stars. "Funny thing is, they seemed genuinely surprised that we helped without being asked for compensation first." Mino nodded thoughtfully. "Maybe that's what makes us human. We help because someone needs help, not because we'll gain from it." 3 days later, as they approached the Zephyrian colony of New Meridian, Kira found David in the observation deck where they'd first met. "I wanted to thank you," she said, her blue eyes bright with unshed tears. "Not just for the food, but for showing me what your people are really like." "What will you tell them about us?" David asked. Kira smiled, the first genuine smile he'd seen from her. "That humans aren't primitive at all. That maybe the most advanced thing in the universe isn't technology or intelligence." She paused, looking out at the approaching planet. "Maybe it's kindness." As the Endeavor prepared for departure after safely delivering the children, David received one final message from Kira. It was simple, but it carried the weight of a changed perspective. "Thank you for sharing your leftovers. You gave us much more than food. You gave us hope in the goodness of others." David smiled, watching the Zephyrian world fade into the distance. Sometimes the most human thing you could do was simply share what you had with those who needed it more.